Illinois!
Hello, everyone. Welcome inside another edition of the Wrap Up. For Dan Myers, I'm Nick Buckler with you as always. Dan, we're going to jump right into it like we do every week with the Lions, the best team in town. The 3-7 Lions riding high after the Green Bay win, and now they come home to face the Oakland Grizzlies. No, just
Close
kidding.
enough.
Just kidding. The Oakland Raiders. And they come out with an 18-13 win at home, Ford Field. The fans were roaring. It was hype. And Matthew Stafford, a little shaky at times, but no interceptions and no touchdowns, but he did have one on the ground. And only one quarterback in the NFL threw for 300 yards all day yesterday. Stafford was not one of them. He threw for 271, no touchdowns, no picks, but gets the rushing touchdown and gets his team an important win. I don't know if you'll call it that or not, but let's hear what you have to say.
I don't know. Any wins? I like I said last week, I really haven't been rooting for them. I kind of want them to hold that solid position for the draft. But they're still out there. They're still hustling, I guess you could say. It was a nice game to watch. But as far as I was concerned, I was just kind of hoping that Oakland might pull something out. I still really like to transform this team in the offseason, and by them going out and winning, I think it's just traditional Lions fashion. It's like we don't need a win, so let's go get one. Now's the time we're going to start throwing the W's on the board. But what can you do?
They start 0-5, pick up a win at home against Chicago, lose a couple more, and now they've won 2 in a row to improve their record to 3-7. And their remaining schedule is pretty easy, if you ask me. But a guy who's really been playing well to get them 2 wins in a row is Darius Slay. Mm-hmm. With the injuries in the defensive backfield, Rasheed Mathis has been shut down for the year with a concussion, and they've had to start Nevin Lawson. They're just losing guys. Another injury yesterday, but Quandre Diggs has stepped in from Texas, the rookie. And then Darius Slay, big play Slay. He's really not impressed me up until the last couple games when he lined up against Randall Cobb in Lambeau Field. And then yesterday shut down Amari Cooper to just 1 catch all game. So if he can start playing like that, the secondary is not bad. Their safeties are good. They have Glover Quinn, James Ahadibo. They just need to shore up opposite side of Darius Slay. And right now, Nevin Lawson and Quandre Diggs have been doing a good job, although you see Lawson more when they go to the nickel package. But it's just, is Darius Slay the answer? I think he has to be for this team to have success going forward. I think the year is already lost. It's going to be tough to rebound from 1-7, 0-5. Even if they do win out and go 9-7, which is possible, I don't think they will. We'll talk about that in a minute. But 9-7 is going to be tough to make that wild card. You have Minnesota ahead of you. You have Green Bay ahead of you, and they're starting to roll. They beat up on Minnesota pretty good yesterday. And then go out west. You have the Cardinals look good. Even the Rams are better than you are, although you do go to St. Louis in a couple weeks to play them. The South, you look at Carolina. They just keep rolling. You have Tampa Bay showing some life. Even New Orleans is hit or miss. And then obviously Atlanta, they're good. I mean, there's so many better teams. You just need everything to happen in order for you to make it. It's not in their own hands. The ball is in everyone else's court, and the Lions just have to do their part and win. But looking at it the other way, they're hunting for a GM right now, and a GM's going to want a high draft pick. Or if you look at it the other way, he might want a team that says, okay, we started bad, but this team we have here can win. With a couple tweaks here and there, bring in a different coach. I don't think Jim Caldwell's the answer, but I mean, you can see it from both sides. If you lose, cool, good draft pick, attractive for a GM. If you win, okay, this team's motivated. This team can come back. This team can, defy the laws of NFL gravity and win. That's cool. There's no quit in this team. I don't know how you're going to take it.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's all in the hands of the GM that we bring in. Right now, we really don't know what's going on as far as who they're going to pick, who they're looking at. But it's all going to be a matter of what the to be determined GM feels is necessary. I think you're right with the coach taking off. I'm thinking he might go to USC or somewhere like that, but I don't think he's going to be here next year at all.
USC might be too good for him, if you ask me. He just looks clueless out there.
He's definitely lost his team.
They're even not so much that, just the fact that when calls are made and he's just got that dumb bulldog face, like
trying to figure out
he's got
a math
the
problem.
long, saggy face, and I just don't. He's clueless. He's not an NFL coach. I'm sorry. I don't. Sure, he might have a Super Bowl, but when you have Peyton Manning, it's not hard to get a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He's just clueless. There's times when he needs to throw a challenge flag. He needs to get in the ref's face. He needs to discipline his players. Instead, he just stands there with what doesn't even appear to be a headset because it's camouflage. And come on. Continue, sorry.
No, you're right. That you've nailed it right on the head. But do you keep Matthew Stafford too? Do you think you keep him around, or does this new GM sort of clear house, go with a fire sale, and start clearing out people? It's all up in the air right now, and it's kind of hard to forecast what's going to go on. You just got to figure out who you got to get first, and then I think they'll take care of it. But will they make the wild card? No, not at all. In my eyes, no. It's too much pressure on a team that has, essentially folded under pressure, except for that Green Bay game,
which they tried to fold many times. They just, instead of the hamburger style fold, they went with the hot dog. It was shorter. Had there been 5 more minutes left on the clock, they would have lost that game.
For sure.
Definitely lost that game. But here's the remaining schedule. You have Philadelphia at home on Thanksgiving. You have Green Bay at home the following Thursday. And then you travel on the road for 2 in a row at St. Louis and at New Orleans. The New Orleans game is on Monday Night Football. And then you come home for San Francisco. And then you finish at Soldier Field in Chicago. So those are all winnable games. I'm going to say they go 4-2 in these final 6 games, winning against Philly, losing to Green Bay, winning in St. Louis, winning at home against San Francisco, and then either the New Orleans, they're going to split the New Orleans-Chicago. I don't know which one they're going to win, which one they might. But that puts them at 7-9. Obviously not good enough in the NFC North for a playoff bid. Now, if they were in the NFC South, they'd be winning that division with flying colors. Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Texans, awful division. That's a different story. We're talking Lions football, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how you think they're going to finish up. 6 games.
Yeah, we'll see. I really don't have high hopes for them on that Monday night game. Soldier Field, that's a hostile environment. Same with, obviously the Superdome where the Saints play. But, we'll see how it goes. It's so hard to get excited, for a team that's just, the history that they have. So we'll see how they do. I'm not really too geeked about them pulling off too many wins. Maybe we get one or 2 more. Obviously, Philly shouldn't be that big of a hurdle.
They got Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
He's not an NFL quarterback. And then you go to St. Louis, they have Case Keenum. He's not an NFL quarterback. Switching gears to San Francisco, they have Blaine Gabbert. He's not an NFL quarterback. And then go to Chicago, Jay Cutler. Say what you will about him. He's not an NFL quarterback. And I compare him a lot to Matthew Stafford, who I don't feel is a winning NFL quarterback either. He's just 1-19 against winning teams on the road in his career. I saw a meme after the Green Bay game that says, it's Matthew Stafford like this, and it says, "Hey haters, I beat a winning team on the road." Cool. You've also lost 19 more times than you've won. Talk to me when you get to 500. Your career will not last as long to get to 500 in that, at least with the Lions. Sorry about it. Switch gears. Let's talk about a winning team, the Detroit Red Wings. Huh?
Yeah.
Last week's show, I called they had 4 games last week. How many points did I say they get? 8. I said they go 8 for 8. Oh, was I close? Let me just toot my own French horn for a second here. They had 7 of 8 points. They could have had the 8th. They lost in overtime at home on Wednesday night against the Washington Capitals, where Ovechkin did not beat Sergei Fedorov's record, at least in the 2 games against the Red Wings at Joe Louis Arena. He did, however, the following night in losing fashion. But enough about Ovi. Let's talk about the Wings. Pavel Datsyuk returned to the lineup. He finally scored on Saturday, but just having him back is huge for this team.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's a crucial player, especially just the talent level. I mean, I know it's cliche to say, oh, check out the but he comes back from an injury that's kept him down for a while. And he's just playing back. I mean, he's not 100%, but he's still playing with the talent that he can keep up with everyone. He's not struggling too much. And he's making his team look good on top of that, too. I mean, he's clearly influencing some of the younger cats. So we'll see.
Cats, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's great to have him back. It's almost like a sigh of relief that he's getting there. He's not 100% yet, but he's getting there.
He really is. A guy who's been over 100%, Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
4 goals in a row with a goal. The last guy to do that with the Red Wing in his teens, Steve Yzerman in 1984. So that's just to put him in the same breath as Stevie, and I think it's rightfully so. I know it's still young for him and the season and his career, but I think this Dylan Larkin is the real deal. playing up there on that top line, even when they moved him down with Datsuk.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing with Henrik Zetterberg, Pavel Datsuk, and you're almost carrying those guys. This guy's for real. Fastest player on the ice. Plays both ways. Plays hard. Plays physical. He's only 190 pounds, but he proves he's not backing down from anyone. He's mixing it up in corners with guys, getting his helmet knocked off, scoring goals, making plays, and drawing penalties, getting under guys' skin. That's what you want to see, especially from a guy who's only 19 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the speed he has. You think he's gassed out, and out of nowhere, he's already 45 seconds into a shift, and you think he's gassed out, and the boosters go on, and he just starts flying, and it's incredible. He had a scary moment. I was Saturday night, I believe.
Friday. With his knee?
With his knee.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, from someone who's really bent their leg the wrong way on the ice, that hurts, all right? And when I saw him go off, I go, oh, that's not good, especially with him being as hot as he has been lately. But he did come back, and he seems to be all right. We haven't really heard anything, from the coach, so he seems to be all right. We'll see how it goes.
Played Saturday night.
Yeah.
They said he was a game-time decision. He said there was no pain. He was going to play from the get-go. And I thought Saturday night was going to be a game that they might have struggled with. Yeah. In St. Louis, a winning team, West Coast, or not a West Coast, but a Western Conference foe that used to be in their division, still a little bit of a rivalry. And they go into their building, Scottrade Center, and get an important 2 points in overtime. 3-on-3 overtime, it's almost been a welcome sight for the Red Wings this year, as they're 4-2 in extra time. And more importantly, 6 games in extra time, 0 shootouts for the Red Wings. So that's good because we all know what happened to the Red Wings in shootouts last year. They were absolutely dreadful, only winning 2 games by the shootout last year of 11. So actually of 13, they were 2-11 in shootouts last year. This year so far in the 3-on-3 style of overtime, 4-2. So they won one as well on Monday against the Ottawa Senators on a nice play by Nyquist up to Tatar for the breakaway goal, and then Pulkkinen with an absolute snipe from the top of the circle with 18 seconds left in overtime Saturday against St. Louis.
Yeah, and can I just go on record saying it? Maybe it's because we're winning these overtimes finally, but this 3-on-3 is just incredible. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. Whether it's the Wings, whether it's another team, it is just so entertaining to watch. It's just so much can go right in one play or wrong, depending on what team makes the play.
It's constant action back and forth. If there's a scoring chance one way that doesn't go in, you got an odd man rush coming back the other way, and that's the excitement of it. And the league took note. I don't know if you've heard about the new All-Star format this year. Instead of East versus West, they're going 4 teams. It'll be 2 teams from the Eastern Conference, 2 teams from the West, representing each division. And it will be, instead of a 3-period game, each period is 1 game. So the first game, you're going to have the 2 Eastern Conference teams smashing it out for 20 minutes, 3-on-3. So there's going to be 10 to 12 players on each divisional team, 2 goaltenders. And right now, if their projections have only Dylan Larkin making it from the Detroit Red Wings, which rightfully so, he deserves it. But it's going to be exciting. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing because it's more of a tournament now with 3 periods, 1 game, winners play in the 3rd period. I think there's already so much offense in the All-Star game. I don't know if I like this for an All-Star format. I like it for a 5-minute overtime to settle a game, but that's just way too crazy. No fantasy draft. It's just kind of, really, guys, this is kind of, I don't know the word I'm looking for exactly, but it's almost cartoonish. It's like fake. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's more of a, I can't even think of the word, but I'm not a fan.
These All-Star games, pick your sport, they're pretty much a joke. A lot of these guys aren't even showing up if they don't have to. And I think the NHL sort of realized that. Last year's numbers, I don't think were the highest or, what they were looking for. But so, I think it was right that they did switch things up. Maybe this obviously it'll bring some viewers in just to check out the new format. I like the idea. I'm not crazy about it, but especially the NHL All-Star Game, for the most part, it's been a joke. The skills competition's the fun part.
That's the best part.
Yeah, and aside from that, I don't know how long do you end up keeping the game on for, the actual All-Star Game?
I watch the player introductions, watch about 10 minutes. All right, there's football on.
And then there's a SVU rerun on. No, let's catch that.
That's normally at the same time of playoff football as well. It's always on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Law and Order SVU's on, Criminal Minds. Yeah,
Mentalist reruns. Yeah.
Golden Girls. I'm flipping to see me some Betty.
Anyway. But I like the idea. I think it's a good idea. Whether it'll stick or not, we'll see. It'll be, I think it's good. we're such an ADD nation that we need constant action right away. So with that going on, to keep the attention of the viewers, especially the hardcore fans. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see what happens, but you're right, it could flop. But
what are they
only
going to
time
do
will tell,
next?
yeah.
Take away the skills competition?
Yeah, throw 2 pucks in the mix. I think
Well,
that'd be great.
there is something on stakes. The winning team will get $1 million to split. All right, you get $25. I'll get $25. Peanut vendor gets 5.
That's a $5 gift card to Subway
come
in
on.
realistic terms.
Really?
For
Oh, we're gonna put some stake. Guys will really play if they're playing for 70 grand. It's chump change for those guys. Moving on. Actually, we're not gonna move on quite yet. There's 3 games this week, and they're all at Joe Louis Arena. Boston Wednesday, Edmonton Friday, and your Florida Panthers on Sunday afternoon. Dan, how many points out of a possible 6 are your Red Wings gonna take home?
Let's go. I want to go 4.
Dan.
I don't know. We'll see how Edmonton does.
They're terrible.
Yeah,
They're the worst team in the NHL.
it's true, but I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about that. Maybe it's just my pessimistic side.
Connor
coming out today,
McDavid's
but-
out. Gretzky doesn't play there anymore. Kidding me?
Yeah, that's true. Boston's always had her number 2.
No.
So we'll
6
see.
points.
6.
They're going to ride hot. Next week, I'm jinxing the Red Wings right now. We will drink their Kool-Aid next week. I'm yelling. I'm getting loud.
We'll go 3 for 6 now. You just said Kool-Aid. We know all that happens.
Kool-Aid. Every time I
The
every time I
Tigers.
say we're going to drink Kool-Aid on this show, the team folds. Said Pistons, they lost 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
I said Tigers, they lost like 100 in a row. Red Wings, they're better than that. They're my boys. We're tight like shoelaces. They're getting a 6 out of 6 this week. I'm calling it right now. And you know who else did great this week and moved up to 6th in the AP poll? The Michigan State Spartans knocked off the number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State drops to number 8 after the loss at home, 17-14, with Tyler O'Connor in for Connor Cook, the backup quarterback for the Spartans. And the kicker had one of the best celebrations I've seen from a kicker, a lot better than USC's kicker in 2005. His celebration involved him jumping off of a cliff to his death. Yeah, just got real on the show.
What?
That was not meant for comic relief. That was rest in peace. Moving on. U of M, they knock off Penn State 28-16, and they didn't look hot doing it, but a win's a win on the road in Happy Valley to set up next week Ohio State, Michigan from the Big House. Michigan moves up 3 spots to number 12 in the AP poll. So MSU 6, Ohio State 8, and Michigan 12. And Iowa hops in to the playoff picture. They move up to number 3, and they could find themselves playing for a Big Ten championship and a national championship. Who would have thunk? But that stat that I gave you last week about Michigan, Northwestern, and Iowa, just like we drew it up. Just like we drew it up. Iowa wins the Big Ten and the national championship. The Hawkeyes, are you kidding me, Dan Myers?
No, get that out of here. I don't like that at all. What a game Saturday though. Unbelievable. I couldn't get over that. That was
Michigan State?
Michigan State, yes, absolutely. I don't know what I like more of them actually winning or watching the reaction of everyone in the horseshoe once that happened. I was just,
You know they're just
that
going to
was
make
awesome.
excuses. That's what Buckeyes do. Oh, well, the coaches didn't put them in a position to win the game. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott announced he will not be back next year. Oh, the referees did this. Oh, well, Michigan State, they did this. Oh, we're the Buckeyes. We don't lose. We don't lose, head-to-head. We're the best team in America. We are the Ohio State. No, get out of here. Get out of here.
What now? How do you handle that? If you're the coach and your quarterback comes out and says, gives you a dig like that, how do you handle that for the rest of the season if he's not coming back?
Okay, how would I handle it, or how is Urban Meyer going to
How
handle it?
should you handle it?
Nick Buckler would handle it by benching that player for the remainder of the season. Urban Meyer will handle it by saying, we talked to Ezekiel Elliott, and he's going to be fine now. We need him for Michigan. Because he's a scumbag.
Yeah, well,
Urban Meyer is the biggest DB on this side of the Mississippi. Dan,
Yeah.
I know I'm using your name as a punctual statement.
Yeah.
He is. DB.
Well, the whole
DB.
university, but it's
Defensive back, obviously, folks. Come on. Moving on. No, not moving on. Can't move on from this. That's Ohio State. Remember when their quarterback got a DWI a couple weeks ago?
yeah.
He was only 20 years old. Gets a DWI. Oh, we're going to sit him out for the first half of our game against Rutgers. I beat Rutgers with one arm. And now you're going to bench your star quarterback? We all know Cardell Jones can't read a book, let alone a defense. Like, come on, that guy is the most illiterate guy on this side of the. I'm using that analogy too much. My inner Cardell is coming out. They need JT Barrett. And when you get to DWI at the age of 20 and you bench him for 15 minutes, come on, folks. Yeah. Oh, we took his scholarship away, but he's still going to get paid because that's what we do at Ohio State. Come on. Come on. I hate the scarlet and white.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's just disgusting. I'm getting nauseous.
Yeah.
Oh, get the bucket, please.
Yeah. Seriously. Oof.
All right, enough of this. This is garbage. 12 o'clock on ABC. You get to watch Michigan pummel the scarlet and white. The Ohio State University will go down. Michigan will prevail. And I'm calling it large. 3 touchdowns. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. The Pistons. They're 7-6 on the year. But they're 4-6 in their last 10. But that West Coast trip was grueling on them. But there's a rumor floating around the NBA about your Detroit Pistons. Dan Myers, did you hear about it?
I did, looking over, yeah.
No, you looked at
Yeah,
my, you looked at my
glanced.
notes.
I'm not going to lie. There we go. Go
You're
ahead.
not on the NBA Insiders hot spots?
No, not yet.
You're going to have to sign up for
I
that.
just changed my number, so they're still
That's
trying to get
it.
a hold of me.
That's it. No, the rumor is Carmelo Anthony could be coming to Motown, or Auburn Hills for that matter. And but it could cost the Pistons, obviously. New York's trying to rebuild the Knicks. Because let's be honest, they're a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
They're worse than the Lions. They're horrible. They need a young core, and I think Brandon Jennings is a guy that the Pistons could send over. Obviously, he's coming back from that Achilles injury that he suffered last year. And let's be honest, Reggie Jackson is the point guard of. I mean, Brandon Jennings will not come in and start over him. And we have KCP at 2. There's no room for Jennings. He'd have to come off the bench, trade him. Him and Ersan Ilyasova could be shipped over, and I'd be okay with that to get Carmelo. He's a veteran. He wants to win. He could waive his no movement clause for the Pistons because, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to play alongside Andre Drummond? Guy's averaging 20 and 17 on the year. Absolutely ridiculous. Only him and Wilt Stilt have averaged that through 13 games of a season. This guy is the best center in the NBA, and he's 21 years old. That's stupid.
Yeah, that'd be huge,
He's
too.
a freak.
Yeah.
Work on his free throws. It's not even a big deal. Look at Hack-a-Shaq. Shaq is the best center of his era. Drummond right now, name another center better.
Right, exactly. No.
Sidney Crosby? That's a different sport. Do you think Dwight Howard? No, he's washed up. Guard.
No, he's done, yeah.
Dunzo. Who else? Who else is there, Dan?
Right.
Who is there? Andre, the brother of Eddie Drummond, former return man for the Lions. Not really related. Do you know what else is? I'm related to lunch. I'm getting hungry. We're going to have to step out. And next week I'll update you on how the Red Wings did. I'm going to get the blue raspberry cool with you next week for Kool-Aid.
That sounds good to me.
I love me some blue raz. I'm going to brew it up right here like I invited all the camera crew and behind-the-scenes guys to come out. Yep, that's right. Yeah, you're going to be out here next week.
I'm going before, so.
No, you guys are coming out. Everyone. I want everyone to see the crew. We're all going to, I got my little Dixie cups ready. We're going to brew up some Kool-Aid. It's going to be like a cooking show out here next week. For Dan Myers, Nick Buckler, and all the guys behind this crew. This is the wrap-up, 32.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.